So hey guys, welcome to the Evo Pod. In today's episode, we have Wilsen, one of our regular gym goers, and we'll be talking about shredding, how he shreds, and yeah, let's hear about you, Wilsen.
Okay, hi guys, my name is Wilson. It's been quite some time. I've been an Evo Gym member. As roughly started here about year 2016 or 2017, if I'm not mistaken. And it's been a good time working out at Evo Gym. To briefly explain about myself, how I started my fitness journey. Basically, I started when I was 17. And when I was 17, I was very overweight, about 115 kilos. And then my current
115,
weight, yes, 115, and that was very bad. So basically, you know that what I used to do is I used to eat at late nights, like two what you call that, let's say 2 cups of Maggi and 1 Milo dinosaur, and I will do sit up right after that, and I will go to bed. So that was my way of coping and thinking that I will lose weight, doing sit-ups after that. And then my current weight right now is at about 71 kilos. So it's what I will say, it's a very long ride.
Yeah, that is actually a very long ride and a good one as well, because there's no way you can cut extremely fast and expect to keep that weight off. You want to be slow, steady and consistent. I have seen you bulk, I've seen you cut, I have seen you maintain, and honestly, for the last how many months? Close to a year now actually about 6 months you've been cutting, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that and how you've felt, how your mood is, how you feel cutting, what kind of changes you actually have had during this period of cutting.
Alright. To briefly explain, in terms of cutting, I failed quite a number of times trying to cut my body weight, and so this will be like my 3rd time trying to cut in a proper way, in a slow and steady manner. What I used to do was used to drastically cut weight and then remove your carbohydrates, and then only eating like 1003 calories, and your carbohydrates was like very, very low, and you feel so drained, you don't have energy to work out. And then what I did this time around was I took it slow for 6 months or so. My cut started about last year, if I'm not mistaken, it should be around May, and then I went for a 4 months cut, and then.
What weight did you start in the cut?
Okay, my weight when I started, it was estimated about 81 kilos. I started about 81 kilos, and that is right after the MCO, and then. And as human beings, it's normal when everyone is going through a certain phase and a certain weight. So I was I started at 81 kilos. And then started at May, and then I progressed to, I think, about 76 kilos, if I'm not mistaken, by August or September. And then, another lockdown happened around.
MCO 2.0.
Yes, another lockdown happened, and then moving onwards, coming towards this year. I think right after the MCO, I think my weight went up by 1 or 2 kilos.
Let's call that a break moment,
Yes.
Let's call that a break moment. Yeah.
And then basically what I did was I tried to learn from my mistake previously. Like previously when I did a cut, I continuously did a cut for like 14 weeks to 16 weeks, and I basically feel really bad. So right now I did it differently. So what I did was during the MCO period, like you call it a break. So I took a break. Basically, my calories were almost similar as what I was eating during a cut. But during a cut, of course, your energy expenditure is much higher.
Yeah.
And during MCO, you know, you walk lesser, you exercise. I mean, you're basically what your energy expenditure is very low.
You brought it up. I mean, you didn't bring it up. You just relatively upped your maintenance calories, lah.
Yes. And then I just continued to work out at home. You know, you've been working from home, and then you still have time to work out. So just do your whatever equipment you have. You just work it out, and then I continue my cut when the gyms were open. I think it was roughly about late February to early February, and then I slowly progressed for another 8 to 9 weeks, and then that led me to around April. So I was basically around 70 something during that period.
I would safely say that you were sub 10% at that point already.
At one point I really felt I mean, it's like you feel drained, because if I were to take it even longer beyond 8 weeks, I think I will feel really tired. So I brought the whole dieting process to a halt first. Yes.
I mean, I've seen you. I literally am here every day of whenever the gym is open. So I see you 90% of the time, and I've seen your progress. So I've seen your chubby side as well last year when you actually bulked. But when I saw you cut as well, you actually did a very slow and steady cut, consistent cut, and I would say that you actually maintained as much muscle as you could, despite there being, of course, during your cut, after a certain point in time, you will start losing a bit of muscle mass. If you're cutting extremely fast, you are going to lose more muscle mass than you would like, but in a slower cut, you tend to lose lesser. You are more consistent, and I would say that you maintain the more muscle, right? That is the workout part. That is the mainly calories part. What kind of food did you eat? Did you like eat special food there?
No. If I take a look at a few years back, of course, definitely during that cut I was very strict, no sugar, and then I had to have like plain white rice with like boiled chicken of some sort. I actually did that, and you know, that is
bodybuilder's diet.
Yes,
Bodybuilder's diet.
but it's not something sustainable, and then, you know, in the long run, you will eventually, like, you know, give up. You know, you're losing.
Your willpower does wane, lah.
Yes.
I would say, yeah.
And then, you know, I mean, life is about enjoying, you know, you get to enjoy your food, and then, you know, do stuffs, right? And then when I was living that life, like, okay, you want to go out with your friends, okay, I cannot eat this, I cannot eat that. And I felt that was
hindrance, lah.
yes, and I was losing out in a lot of things. And then, but what I did this round was quite different, you know. We being Indians, it's a bit hard for us to live out our rice. And then also with our curries, and, you know, especially curry. And then so I started practicing more flexible dieting, and then I also have cookies in the morning. But I did track my calories. But there was a time where I took a break from, you know, your MyFitnessPal and keying in whatever you eat. It's like, because, you know, it's been such a long time you've been tracking calories, right? And then, you know, this food is
this assumption that you know that, okay, this amount of that is definitely about somewhere around these calories.
Yes.
So you had that gauging sense, lah.
Yes. And then when I try to practice that, right, then I eventually see that, okay, if I'm not cutting, I'm not bulking, I would like to maintain. So if I don't track, I just try to estimate, and based on that estimation itself, I pretty much find it that my weight doesn't go up. If it does go up, and then you just reduce a little, and then it goes down back to where you were.
Right.
And then you know, I mean, I feel like it's if you try to be too strict on yourself, you're definitely going to lose out a lot.
Yeah,
so
you're going to break at some point if you're going to be
Yes.
extremely strict.
And then, you know, going out with friends, and then, you know, having, you know, I used to go out, but I would say, no, I'm not going to eat anything. I'm just going to
Yeah,
drink.
by the way, everything that he said, cookies and all that stuff, right? And the fact that he can gauge the food by just looking at it, he's been doing this for years. He's been doing it for, like he said, since he was 17 when he started working out. Not just after he started the gym. So he's able to do it because he's consistently done it over and over and over again every day, every meal in fact. So he knows what he can take, what he's able to do, how far he has to go to actually achieve his goals, and what kind of diet, what kind of training plan adheres to him. Does not mean that it will affect you the same way. Doesn't mean that you are following the same diet or workout plan as he does will actually give you the same results. You have to tailor that to your needs, to your goals, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of consistency, a lot of discipline to a certain extent, until you find that path that you can follow, and then you can do what he does, in the sense of the portion control that he does, the sense of gauging that he has, and building your own training plan that adheres to you. And tell me about how you actually scaled your calories to your needs.
If I take a look back a few years back, sorry guys, I always mention few years back because it's a long-term process, a long-term goal. It's never about making short-term goals, short-term gains. It's always the long run. And last time I used, let's say I used to eat about 2 calories and 2,200 calories, and my weight was about 75, 76. And now I'm eating about 2,100 calories, and my weight is about 71 kilos. And you can see that, you know, the difference between your weight now and last time, and how much of food intake you're taking. So there's a lot of improvement there itself.
Yeah.
And then how you plan your training program, and then your food intake, everything has to, I mean, it has to become one. It has to become one. It's not like what you call that. You simply do. You simply plan your training program and then your calorie, and then it doesn't match. And what I did a few years back, maybe about 2 years back, how to boost my calorie intake per day. You know, you have the internet everywhere, and then you can learn from a lot of coaches everywhere. You know, even Evo Gym, we have SK. We also have Ruben here. You know, they've been doing this quite a long time. And then, you know, how to build up your calories, have a proper training plan. Let's say, like 2 years back, I had a plan that I want to gain size. So, and how I plan my exercise, workout plan, and what kind of reps, and then what kind of exercise selection, and how I gradually increase my calories. Like, let's say for this particular 4 weeks, I eat at maybe 2,100 calories. Take a break for 1 week, increase your calorie maybe to 150, 200, and then you do another meso. They call it a meso cycle, short cycle or what, for another 4 weeks. And then I ended up, I was bulking for about like 1 year, and I was about at 81 kilos, and my end calorie was about 3,100 calories.
This was just before you started the cutting process, right?
Yes. So you can see when you were starting only at that phase, right? I basically just came out from what I will say is a failed cutting process, where I lose too much of size, and that my end calories at that time was about 1,006. So from 1,006 up to 3,001, I took about almost a year to build up the, what you call that, to bulk up to 81, and also to push up my calories so that I can boost my metabolism as well.
Do you think that, I mean, yes, okay, this is a lot of science that he is talking about, but basically what he's saying is he slowly increased his calories while increasing his calorie expenditure, his calorie intake while increasing his calorie expenditure, so that he can eat more while maintaining a certain body size, and he tracked that body size. So if he wants to actually bulk up for a certain period of time, he just increased the amount of calories while either maintaining or still increasing that calorie expenditure without going too far above his calorie intake. So he gained size like that, but he tracked each of it equally and until he reached his end goal, and then after that, during the cutting process, he did the cut. Mesocycles and periodization and all that stuff, it is very good if you're going to go all in like he does. He does all in. He goes all in. But if you're just an average Joe, you take what you need to from this, and mainly whatever it is calories in versus calories out. When you build muscle, when you have more muscle tissue, your metabolism increases automatically when you have more muscle tissue. Hence your calorie intake rises as well because you have more caloric needs. Hence your calorie, the difference in calories as well that he was mentioning earlier. What do you think about how you feel after you reached your goal during this cut?
For me, it was something I feel that what you call that, something good, because I already had a plan that okay, I need to cut down to this certain amount of body weight, this certain amount of body fat maybe, and then and then you take a look, you look yourself at the mirror, and then are you happy with what you achieved in a short period of time? And for me, I feel it was okay, but I wasn't so happy. I know I can still improve, I can still learn to improve myself. And like I said before, it's a continuous process. It's a never-ending process of trying to improve yourself. We are all human beings. There's nothing perfect right there.
Yeah, true that.
Yes.
It's a continuous process. It's something that comes over time. The best that you can be is just before you end in the grave. Honestly, yes. You can keep improving until then. Of course, there is the time factor and your body, all that stuff. But the best version of yourself is always before you end in the grave. Until then, your mind keeps evolving. You're going to be learning more and more how you can actually be better. And that is the truth. All through this time where he was bulking and cutting and all that stuff, he learned. He definitely didn't know anything about periodization. He didn't know anything about calories and all that when he started. And it took him all this time to actually learn every bit that he knows right now. And that's what's helped him reach his goal for this period of time. His goal is definitely going to be to go further next cut or next bulk, in fact. Or I think you're actually planning on maintaining right now, right?
Planning is more towards gaining, but the main thing, I mean not maintaining, gaining, something about like gaining, but the main thing is like, you have to leave your ego out of the door. Sometimes you have to be open to criticism or people correcting you. That is actually the way. Sometimes you have to ask. I've made a lot of mistakes in the past. I was, like exercise selection, maybe squatting too heavy and then not having the right form. But then, we meet people along the way, and then, we have, like I mentioned before, we have SK and then we have Ruben. They've corrected me many times as well. And then now I used to squat about 80 to 90 or somewhere about 100 kilos last time, like 25 aside, not 25 like 50 aside, but you know, the form was not right. I was not seeing much progress maybe on my legs, and then you know you receive people's advice and then you put it into practice, and then from there onwards I just started squatting not so heavy. It's about like 30 aside, just 30 aside from 50, and then I just try to get my form correct, try to feel your mind muscle connection, try to build from there. It's always about no matter where you are starting from, right, it's always about be open to learning and just leave your ego out of the door.
Okay, so anything else you'd actually like to add? Because I mean, if we talk more than this, you're definitely going to stop listening. So what else would you like to add?
Well, basically for people who wants to get started in their fitness journey, I will say that action speaks louder than words. So you should, if you have something in mind, if you already plan, you know, to start losing weight, you know, you want someone to help, a trainer to help you to lose weight, you know, just don't think too much. If you want something badly, you will definitely find a way to do it. And you know, if you seek someone's guidance and you know, advice, and you really want to lose your weight, then just take action, find a way. You need a trainer, hire a trainer, keep consistent with your goals, and most importantly, sometimes you don't see result, but you know, you have to keep going, keep doing it, and it's what I will say is a long process. So enjoy the journey and just keep moving forward.
Thank you very much, Wilson. I hope to have you more on podcasts and all that with SK and myself. And till the future, thank you everyone for tuning in. Signing off from you, Ruben and
Wilson.